Even though Apple's 2021 WWDC event was 2 full hours long, there were a ton of awesome new features and changes that Apple chose not to mention, and in my opinion, some of these changes are even better than the ones that they showed off. So in this video, I've put together a huge list of the best hidden tips and tricks from all of Apple's new software updates, so let's get right into it. First up, this tip is something I've wanted for years. When someone texts you a photo within Messages, there's now a new Save to Photos button, so you don't have to take any extra steps to quickly save it. Even better, iOS 15 now finally supports drag and drop, so let's say you want to grab a few photos and email them to someone, just go into the Photos app, tap and hold for a split second and then drag it to the side. And then you can tap on more photos to add them to the stack, and after that, you can switch to the Mail app and simply drop them in. Or you can grab some photos and toss them into the Notes app or basically anything else, which is awesome. With macOS Monterey, there's a new Erase All Content and Settings feature which allows you to delete all of your data without having to completely reinstall macOS like we used to have to do, which is basically perfect for when you want to sell your current Mac and upgrade to a new one. And Apple also made it much easier to upgrade to a new iPhone as well, by literally giving you free iCloud storage space to back up your iPhone for up to 3 weeks, so you can transfer your data to your new iPhone, so you no longer have to back up to your Mac if you don't want to cough up the extra cash for iCloud storage. On top of that, Apple is now allowing you to completely personalize your iCloud mail address with a custom domain name if you have iCloud Plus, which is basically coming this September to anyone who is already paying for iCloud. Last year, one of the features that Apple added to iOS 14 was the new home screen pages, but now with iOS 15, you can completely rearrange all of them, which gives you more customizability. Now, if you're an AirPods Pro or AirPods Max user, you can long press on your volume slider within the control center to enable the spatialize stereo option, which applies a spatial audio effect to basically everything you listen to instead of having to go and find songs that actually support it right now. And for Apple Watch users, you can now finally set multiple timers at once, which I know people have been asking for years. And on top of that, the Contacts app made it to the Apple Watch, so it's much more simple to go and find contacts without going through the phone app. With iPadOS 15, you can now finally get a detailed progress bar by tapping on the progress icon in the top right corner of the screen, letting you know exactly how large the file is and how long it's going to take to transfer. Now, one feature that I absolutely love on both the iPhone and the iPad is the new way to reload a page in Safari. Just pull down from the top of the page, just like you do on Twitter, and it'll refresh. And if you're wondering why there was never a low power mode for the iPad or the Mac, forget about it because it's finally here, and the way it works is by limiting display brightness and downclocking the chip so it uses less power. And if you have an M1 Mac, those chips are so powerful that you can probably use the low power mode all the time and still have enough performance for what you need. Now, I know some people have been avoiding using apps like Instagram on their iPads because it's locked to the portrait mode orientation, making it impossible to use with the Magic Keyboard case or other keyboards. Apple has finally fixed that. iPhone apps and iPadOS 15 now finally run in landscape mode. For those of you who use a lot of reminders but hate how difficult it is to delete completed ones, you can now simply swipe to the left on one of them and tap delete. Super simple. And if you're a fan of Memoji, Apple just added a bunch of extra accessories and looks to them. And now you can use them as your login image for your Mac, and they're even live, which is really unique. Now, one thing that has always annoyed me on macOS is that the menu bar disappears when you use full screen mode. But now with Monterey, you have the option to always display the menu bar while in full screen, which is great for those who want to always see info inside of the menu bar, like the sensors for the chip. And one major improvement on M1 Max is that iPhone and iPad apps now finally support full screen video, whereas previously it would just fill up the full window and not the full screen. So I'm glad Apple is working on making it better. Moving on, with iOS 15, you can now mute notifications from any map or messaging thread for the next hour or for the next day. and you'll even get a suggestion to mute if a thread is very active, which is nice for those who've never tried muting before. And on that note, FaceTime now has a mute alerts feature where it'll actually alert you when you're trying to talk but your microphone is muted, which is basically a game changer for people who aren't as familiar with tech. And going even further, there's a new optical zoom control so you can zoom in on things with your rear camera while on a FaceTime call, which you previously weren't able to do at all. In macOS Monterey, you can now go into the accessibility settings, then keyboard options, and turn on full keyboard access, which basically lets you do everything without a trackpad or a mouse. And now for a tvOS feature, this is literally a game changer. You can now sign into apps using Face ID or Touch ID on your iPhone instead of having to manually sign in, which is an awesome quality of life improvement. And on top of that, you can now pair two HomePod mini speakers with your Apple TV 4K to get an awesome stereo sound setup. And finally, with iOS 15, you can now hit the info icon on a photo and get a ton of EXIF data, which shows you everything from the time, date, location, image name, file format, and all of the camera data as well, which is really useful. iOS 15 also offers a new built-in authenticator, so you no longer have to rely on other apps for more secure sign-ins. Simply go to the password settings, tap on a website, and tap Setup Verification Code, where you can either enter the setup key or scan a QR code from a website. And once it's done, verification codes will autofill for you, which is incredibly convenient. On macOS Monterey, you can now customize your cursor or pointer by going into the accessibility settings, then go to display, then the pointer tab, and then you can adjust the fill or outline color to anything you'd like. And if you love watching stuff on your Apple TV, but you still haven't purchased the brand new Siri remote, iOS 15 has completely redesigned the remote app, which you can access from the control center, so now it should work a whole lot better than it did before. One feature that I think is really cool is the new weather app, which now will send you a notification letting you know that it's about to rain, snow, hail, or sleet, which is pretty amazing. And another cool little hidden feature is the new background sounds feature within the audio and visual accessibility settings, which basically just plays background noise, which can be useful for helping you focus or even helping your young kids or babies fall asleep. And if you've got a new iPhone 12 with 5G support, iOS 15 will now automatically switch over to 5G when your Wi-Fi connection isn't reliable or it's unsecure, which I sometimes experience at home when my Wi-Fi hangs up, forcing me to turn it off, but now it should happen automatically. And if you're someone who loves gaming, Apple just added a new game highlights feature, which allows you to tap the share or center button on a supported game controller to save up to the last 15 seconds of gameplay if something awesome just happened. And on top of that, Apple is now allowing developers to create a virtual controller for their games in iOS 15, including buttons like A, B, touchpad, and D-pads, which will save a lot of coding time for developers. And finally, there's one extra feature coming to iOS 15 to give you more peace of mind, called Secure Paste, which hides the content you're copying from the developer of the app you're copying it from. And there you guys have it. Those were 30+ hidden tips, tricks, and features that Apple didn't mention during their WWDC 2021 keynote. If you enjoyed this video, definitely click the circle above to subscribe and check out one of those two videos right there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.